It's time to look at how we request, process, and pay benefit claims. In this next round, we will look closer at Juliana Gonzalez, and I will copy her social security number, because I'm going to need that in a minute. Looking at benefit claims presents a perfect opportunity to also learn how this system helps you prevent errors, evasion, and fraud. For example, in this particular country for which the system is configured, you're allowed to request a sickness benefit from the Social Security Administration only in case you've been out sick for more than 4 days. In addition, you need to have a sickness certificate from a healthcare provider to support your request. Now, if Juliana were to go in and try to request a sickness benefit, you will notice that the system is telling her she needs to first have a medical certificate to do so. Her option then is to either go and schedule a medical visit through the system, or she may instead have gone straight to her doctor as a first step. Her doctor will be able to go in and process medical visit records for patients and generate the medical certificate that is required by individuals so they can request medical benefits. For the doctor to enter the record for the correct person, she needs to have the Social Security number of the patient. That's the number I copied earlier for Juliana. Once the doctor enters the Social Security number, the system will find the name of the patient, and the doctor can go and complete the information which will entitle the individual to a sickness benefit. Here you see the doctor entering the data and indicating that, in her view, the patient is entitled to the benefit because she came in on this particular date, and the diagnosis was that she had abdominal pain, and it is recommended that she gets time off until the 11th of July. The status of the visit record will be set to completed. What's wonderful about this process is that once this has been processed and entered into the system by a doctor, it means that the patient now has the medical certificate required to go and request a sickness benefit. The system will automatically populate everything already known about the patient, and you can see that no real data entry is required here. Everything is being done for the user by the system. All the user needs to do here is progress the process. She can select the bank that was already associated with her account for the benefit payment, and no other steps are required. She just needs to add the request. She does need to indicate which employer she was working with at the time of her sickness, which is Grupo Gonzalez right here, because this employer's accounts may be affected by this claim. So if I post this request as the individual Juliana right here, then that goes to my employer for review, since the employer can also vouch for the fact that the employee was working with them and that she was absent due to sickness. The employer also needs to confirm if anything was paid to the employee during this period of sickness. Again, the logic of this could be different depending on how the processes should work in a particular country. Such rules may differ based on the benefit requested. But the standard flow that I'm showing you here is that the individual requests the sickness benefit, and the employer will confirm the accuracy of the information. Therefore, while logged in and using the e-services portal of Grupo Gonzalez, we look at the sickness or maternity benefit requests here, and we will find that there is one that is pending employer approval right now. We can see all the details here. One important matter that needs to be completed still is the last day of work of this individual. Let's say she was in the office until the 30th because that is a condition for the person to qualify for the benefit. We also need to indicate whether she was paid or will be paid anything by the employer for her period of sickness. If this employer-paid amount is below 40% of her normal pay, then there is no need to apply for a refund from the Social Security Administration afterwards. In our case, we will put a date here and complete the rest of the form so we can go ahead and post this benefit claim. Once it has been posted, the claim can instantly be viewed by the authorized user in the Social Security Administration office. It's time, therefore, to go and log in again on behalf of Aaron, our employee at the Social Security Administration office. Aaron can see the claims that are being processed and those that are being filed online. Since everything is seamlessly integrated, claims which are entered manually in the office and those which are filed online are both instantly available for processing. The claim for Juliana Gonzalez is listed under the new claims that have been received. I can access them all from the dashboard immediately. Depending on the workflow logic defined in the system, either this claim will be assigned automatically to the responsible person within the administration, or it could be that the system requires you to first manually review and update some information before the claim is assigned to the right person for processing. That really depends on how you want the system to work. Let's take a look at what else we can see here. Virtually all the right information is in place already. We can see that the information regarding the employer during the benefits period is already there. We can see the wages earned which directly affect the benefit claim calculation. We can even view the claims history of this claimant. Since we've made some changes to this claim already, we're going to press the Update button so that the changes are all saved. Now we can move things along by confirming that we have reviewed the claim. Of course, you're not just reviewing the basic demographic and claim information. You also need to review how the benefit entitlement for this claim is calculated. Here are the general details, and here are the calculation details. These calculation details show the contribution weeks which will be taken into account in the calculation, the total earnings during that period, the average earnings, and then the daily rate, the applicable number of benefit days, and so on and so on. In other words, everything needed to calculate the benefit entitlement is showing here, so the person approving the calculation can see how the system reached the amount it has computed. The total benefit amount to be paid is shown right here. Because we are dealing with important financial transactions, these types of calculations require typically several approvals or reviews. We've already confirmed that the claim and its calculation have been reviewed. Next, we need to approve the claim. Usually this will be done by a different user, but we'll keep it simple here and use only Aaron to get through the different approvals. Aaron is both reviewing and approving the claim. Then the next user may be an internal auditor who needs to audit this claim and its calculation. The auditor can review the different elements used in the calculation and has access to all history to be confident of the decision before telling the system that the claim has been audited. So now we have reviewed, approved, and audited the claim. This means we're ready to move on to benefit payments. So let's go and check the payment process. How do you start the benefit payment process? When we go and look at Social Security benefit payments, we see that one of the first steps is to initialize payments. This is because payments for past periods may have been approved only recently, and claims with future payment dates may already be approved in the system. So the initialization process will separate and pick up and prepare only those payments which should be included in this particular payment run. By running the initialization, the system will pick up all the correct benefit entitlements which need to be included in this payment run. Different benefits are usually paid with different frequencies. For example, pensions are not paid on a weekly basis, but usually on a monthly basis. Most long-term benefits are usually only paid monthly. Short-term benefits, on the other hand, such as sickness or other one-off grants, will usually be paid more every 2 weeks, otherwise called fortnightly. The logic for this is all defined in the system's policy setup. In my case, we're going to proceed with the fortnightly benefit payments only, and that means we've activated those payments through the initialization. We have basically put them in a bucket to be paid out. After this, we continue with the trial processing. Everything important you do in Interact SFAS, you can first do using trial or simulation steps. So we start with the trial process. If we're happy with the results which we're seeing there, then we can go to the trial register, which will allow us to run a report that gives us all the details that are relevant. In this register, we can see that the payment for Juliana Gonzalez is included. In fact, 2 payments are going out this time. These are the 2 amounts that we'll be paying in this particular period. The total is shown right here at the bottom. Of course, you can run many reports related to this. These reports can then be easily exported to Excel, PDF, or Word. You will be able to get reports which provide all kinds of comparisons, so you have all the information you need to be comfortable that the planned payments are accurate. You will also need to indicate whether you plan to make the payments through the banking system, with electronic wire transfers, or by printing checks, as the approach to use will be different in both cases. You can choose among various options. If you're going to pay entitlements by check, you can print a check register. This check register covers all you need to know regarding upcoming check payments. If we're not paying by check, we're probably paying electronically, which means we'll use an ACH or other file format to send wire transfers. We'll pick fortnightly, and in my case, we'll choose Citibank. At this time, the system will be able to produce the file for you. Since this is all very specific to banking transactions using international standards, there are some important parameters to select so the system can produce the correct file that needs to go to your bank. After any set of financial transactions, you will need GL journal entries produced in a GL file, which can be posted to an external general ledger system. The system will produce the correct GL entries automatically and give you the trial results first for review, of course. In summary, the payment process starts with initialization, goes through various trial steps, and moves on to producing either checks or wire transfers, and ends with posting of the GL entries to an external system. Now, where does all this functionality and the rules for all of this come from, and how does the system know what to do?